Alright guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay Will. So I wanted to do another video on this device here because I'm using it, and this is my iPhone 8 by the way, not the 8 Plus. And you know, I did a video a while back telling you guys why I feel like this is a better purchase than the iPhone 10, and I still feel strongly about that. iPhone 10 is a good phone. A lot of people turned that video into a controversial video. You really didn't have to, it's just my opinion. You can disagree with this video. I'm perfectly fine with that, but this phone is actually really good, man. I've seen at one point YouTubers telling people to skip this phone, but in actuality, this phone is just a hair smaller and shorter than the iPhone 10, and it has a 4.7-inch display opposed to the 5.8. But you get that home button, you get that fingerprint reader, which is really important to a lot of people, and I've learned this over time. But it just happened to affect me too. So you know, the iPhone 8 is a really middle ground for me. The iPhone SE, some people still like that device. It's a super small, compact iPhone, but it still packs some punch. And like this phone, it's solid. You get the same performance, but in this phone, the iPhone 8, you get the latest processor. So with that, this phone still performs great. It performs just as good, just as well as the iPhone 10 and the 8 Plus, because they have the same internals. You don't get the extra camera. But still, you get the smaller battery. But for the way it is, iOS is really optimized well. And so, you know, it's just a good look all the way around. I would definitely recommend you guys to grab the 8 still. Even in 2018, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't. If you don't want to spend $1,000 on the iPhone 10, even $1,300, like most of us, for the 256 gig, grab a 64 gig iPhone 8. I guarantee you'll be happy with the performance compared to the iPhone 10. Now, some people will tell you, oh, no. You will be able to tell the difference in the performance. But, you know, they'll tell you that the cameras perform better. Well, in my testing, I don't see that much difference. The only difference is I get the secondary lens on there with the telephoto lens. And yes, it performs great. It performs a little bit better than this camera because it has that extra feature. But outside of that, the cameras do the same thing. And I guess I shouldn't use the terminology performs better. You just get an additional camera, which gives you some additional features. And that's just what it is. Now, I'm not so much comparing this to the iPhone 10 directly again or any other iPhone. I'm letting you know in this follow-up video that this device is actually still a great purchase. I think these start at $669 or $699 or something like that. And for an iPhone with the latest processor and all the internals that are perform the same as the higher priced iPhones, compact size, really nice. You can see here, if you're into compact phones, you know, this is it next to the Note 8. So you can see how small it actually is. Yeah, you get a 4.7-inch display. You get a 12 megapixel on the rear back there, just like the iPhone 8 Plus and the iPhone 10. This one has 2 gigs of RAM though, and it still has that Apple A11 Bionic chip, so they call it. It's just a really good processor inside. It makes the phone very fluid and fast. You know, Apple devices don't need a lot of RAM, just like Windows devices don't need a lot of RAM, so it'll perform very well under strain, especially with gaming. You know, the internals for the gaming, everything's the same for this. So you think about that. You can save hundreds of dollars. You get a compact phone. You get a nice camera on here. Great battery. The battery is 1821, it says, so like basically 1800 milliamp hour battery. But you still get great performance from the battery, at least in my usage. I mean, the 8 Plus obviously is going to have better battery. The iPhone 10 might have better battery, but battery always depends on the user. It's totally subjective. There's people out there that have an iPhone SE getting stellar battery because it depends on how you're using the phone. So with that being said, just want to give you a quick follow-up video and let you know this phone is fantastic still. It's still a good purchase. I would still recommend it even in 2018. I just don't see how I couldn't, especially if you like iPhones. And that's just what it is. So I want to do a quick video real fast and show you that the phone is still performing like a champ. And it's just really good. So just a quick discussion video. I've already reviewed this device, I believe. I think I reviewed this device. If I didn't, I probably just moved to the 8 Plus and reviewed it because they were so similar with minor differences. But this phone is actually really good, man. Very fluid. If you don't have an iPhone and you're coming from one of the older iPhones, like an iPhone 6S or iPhone 6, I definitely recommend even the iPhone 7. If yours breaks or something like that, you don't have a warranty or just anything, I would definitely say go ahead and jump to the iPhone 8. It's definitely a middle ground device for most people. Still small in size. All the accessories still work. That's the thing about not moving to the 10 yet. Is, you know, the accessories for all your phones should still work. Your screen protectors for the 6, all the way down to the 6 should still work on here. The screen protectors, I think the 6 will still work. Cases, you'll probably need to get different cases, but I think this case will definitely probably still work with the 6. So this is a case for the iPhone 8, obviously, and 7, but it should still work because it has that big opening in the back. I don't know, you have to check it out, but that's a huge plus. So you get the dual speakers, you got that 4K at 60 frames per second. I mean, there's just no reason to skip this phone like I hear some people say. So if you have an iPhone 8, the 8, smaller version, leave a comment down below and tell me how yours is performing and how you like it so far. So I'll see you guys in the next video. It's your man, Jay Will.